Believe it or not, two Best Buy customers beating each other over a half-priced GoPro was not the most depressing thing that happened last Friday. By now, you may have heard that a gunman in Colorado Springs opened fire on a Planned Parenthood clinic, killing 3 people and injuring 9. Now, you're probably wondering, who would do such a thing?
The suspect, 57-year-old Robert Deere, is being held without bail. If I had to imagine the type of person who would shoot up an abortion clinic, it would be exactly this guy. You know, someone who looks like Nick Nolte's mugshot, had sex with a toilet brush. More details are coming out about the shooter's past, and if you're one of those people who makes assumptions about people based on how they look, well, shame on you for being right.
Police described the shooter as a white male.
His cabin was decorated with crosses made out of twigs.
His police records in the Carolinas include complaints about animal abuse, as well as an accusation that he was a peeping Tom.
Police and federal agents showed up to his remote trailer home in Hartselle, Colorado, where neighbors say Deere kept to himself, but always seemed a little off.
We got some anti-Obama pamphlets. That was just kind of weird, with like 3 minutes of meeting somebody.
This guy's a creep. What? That's how you greet your neighbors? With an anti-Obama pamphlet? I mean, you could have at least baked them a nice pie with the same message, you know? Now, to their credits, most of the presidential candidates on both sides have treated this tragedy respectfully. Well, most of them.
The media promptly wants to blame him on the pro-life movement when, at this point, there's very little evidence. It's also reported that he was registered as an independent and as a woman and a transgender leftist activist.
I'm sorry, what? That is not true at all. It wasn't reported that the shooter was a transgender leftist activist. There was an insane internet rumor. And you see, Ted Cruz, if we believed everything we read on the internet, I would be reporting that Ted Cruz's anus is where his belly button should be, and vice versa. Just go to tedcruztruefacts.com and see for yourself. Now, everyone can agree that this was a horrible tragedy, but there's another question that hasn't been answered yet.
Was it an act of terrorism?
Is this domestic terrorism?
We're all trying to determine whether it was domestic terrorism.
When it's an Arab, we immediately say it's an act of terrorism.
Some critics say there is a double standard here, that journalists would not nearly be so restrained if the shooter was Muslim.
Well, I don't understand. Why is everyone asking if you can call this terrorism? Just call it terrorism. Just call it terrorism. It's not like it's a liquor license. Whose approval rating are you waiting for, right? The Council of Terrorism, is that what you're waiting for? By the way, we should catch those guys. We really should. For more perspective on this, we're joined by senior analyst Jordan Klepper, everybody.
Trevor, thank you for giving me a chance to speak on this pressing issue. America, these are frightening times. We're all understandably on edge. But it's in these very moments that we must remember our nation's core values. And that's why tonight I say to you, please, don't discriminate against white men.
Against white men?
Yeah. Look, I get it. Most mass shootings in America are done by white, Christian-looking dudes. But the vast majority of white guys are peaceful bros who want to live quiet lives here in America, specifically the suburbs. You know, not too far outside the city, but, you know, with good schools. But this anti-white paranoia is a slippery slope that will only lead to surveilling guys like me in our most sacred places. Luke Bryan concerts, Bikram yoga classes.
Bikram yoga, isn't that an Indian thing?
Okay, I think the proper term is Native American. Just know your culture, know the culture.
Anyway, Jordan, look, a lot of people think that there's something about white culture that radicalizes your young men.
Okay, well, I disagree.
Okay, well, here, let me ask you a few questions. Do many people in your culture believe that they belong to the one true religion?
Damn right. I mean, Christianity #1, JC for life.
And do they believe that the only path to salvation is for others to reject their false gods?
I mean, heck yeah. Get on board or go to hell, right?
And do many in your culture also laugh hysterically at the mere repetition of a word like bazinga? Bazinga?
Jordan, it's not even a joke. I'm just saying the word bazinga.
Stop. You're going to make me tinkle, Trevor. Calm down. Calm down. Look, I grant there's some weird things about white culture, but that doesn't make us all terrorists.
Yeah, but Jordan, after this horrible shooting, shouldn't you, as a moderate white person, at least speak out against this corrupted version of whiteness?
Okay, you know what? Why is that my job? You know, you're from South Africa. You know, does that mean you have to speak out against being an Olympian with magic legs who shot your girlfriend?
First of all, those weren't magic legs. It was carbon fiber.
Stop defending him. Why are you defending him?
I'm not defending him.
You're defending him. You're going to pick a guy in the race, that's who you're going to pick?
I'm not defending.
You're defending him.
Okay, look, I'm just saying, I see your point, okay? I see your point. And maybe you're right. Maybe we should look at people as individuals, not some monolithic group defined by their extremists.
Thank you. All right. That's all we're asking for. You know, because if the situation reversed, we'd do the same for you.
Yeah. Bazinga.
Bazinga, yeah.
Thank you very much.